Hey everybody, did you know that the different fields or archetypes of relationships that a person can have with others in their life have a way that they file into the system of the Zodiac's wheel so that each sign pertains to a different realm? Let's go around the wheel and I'll show you what I mean. Starting with the first sign, Aries. Aries is going to, in general, talk all about our relationship with ourself. How do I see myself? What is my identity? So Aries is that fundamental first step, raw, relating to self is the identity realm that it represents. Second sign, Taurus, is kind of the only one that does not infer a realm of people as far as the characters of the archetype. It's stuff. It's our relationship to physical matter. Money is included in that, but it's how do we as a sovereign conscious individual relate to the more earthy, rocky, dense physical objects. How do we relate to the physical realm is the relating aspect that implies through Taurus. The third sign, Gemini, has a variety, which goes along with the theme of variety that's in Gemini anyway. Brothers and sisters, so siblings, are particularly a part of Gemini, as is our extended family, that is our uncles, our aunts, our cousins, typically those outside of our household but our family. As well as messengers in our life. And those are just the characters that give us pieces of information that we pass and have a conversation with, but there's not any kind of real strong emotional attachment or there's something that's a little bit more detached and separate about those connections. So that's all the relationships of Gemini. It's those informational components and exchanges through siblings, extended family, and just the day-to-day characters that we pass throughout our life. That then goes into the fourth sign, which is Cancer. Cancer is a primary relating to a mother figure, the nurturing, inner, domestic, mothering figure, although it also implies how we relate to our family in general. Relationships with family members, particularly those in our household, all file under Cancer. And so we can see a slight difference, right before in Gemini we have those family members that are more extended, with the exception of siblings. Siblings are a special case for Gemini. But then the mother and the family unit is more the emotional kind of incubation of Cancer. The next sign, Leo, is the relationships that we have with our children. So when you have a kid, they're your creation, which the sign of creativity, Leo, then has jurisdiction over. So our children, it can also be how we relate to the youth, how we relate to kids in general. Even though Cancer can imply infancy, it extends into the full spectrum of creative, childhood, etc. In Leo. So Leo is our relationship to our kids. The next sign, Virgo. Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury, and there's some similarity, but Virgo pertains to our relationships with our co-workers and those that work for us. Our subservients, our inferiors, or our co-workers. If we all work at the same restaurant, it's all the other waiters and waitresses. But it's also just the idea of when we go out into the world, anyone that's in a position of service to us is also part of that Virgo archetype of relating. So it's all of the people that serve us, whether it's the person checking you out at the register at a store, or a waiter or waitress, anyone that works for you is a Virgo archetype, which again is separate than Gemini. Gemini is not about people that work for you or with you, it's just the day-to-day people, the interactions and those messengers. Going up to Libra. Libra is kind of a special case too. It classically defines relationship and partnership and those kind of themes. And Libra is kind of the interface of the Zodiac for relating. It governs all one-on-one connections. And so partnerships, when you have, a marriage partner, any one-on-one connection is really under the jurisdiction of Libra in a much larger sense. Although it can also be the one-on-ones with open enemies, with anybody. It's the interface for how we do relationship with others. So Libra is the quintessential other sign, opposite the same way that Aries is the quintessential self sign. Scorpio is really something we can think of as an extension of Libra, where those one-on-one relationships where I have you and me blend into an us. So the Scorpio relationships imply one-on-one partnerships that have gone deeper, especially towards, sexual partners, but it's those deep one-on-one relationships where we are in it together. And it's also business partners. Anybody you're in business with, where you have assets and they have assets and you've put them together and you're working as one unit, those relationships are under Scorpio. And we can think also about how Libra bleeds into Scorpio in the fact that those scales, esoterically according to that lore, used to be the claws of the scorpion, and then they became two separate signs. But regardless, Libra is the interface of all one-on-one relating that establishes partnership, that then intensifies and merges into those deeper relationships where we have assets in common in Scorpios, deep relationships, very intimate, or resources that are entangled together. Sagittarius is a field for a relationship that implies all of our teachers, especially for a spiritual nature, our mentors, those that inspire us, the gurus. So it's religious leaders, it's teachers, it's bringers of knowledge. So the archetype of those that teach and inspire us, our religious leaders, those all file under Sagittarius. Next is Capricorn. Capricorn opposite Cancer is relating to the father figure, the more worldly boss type figure. So Capricorn is how do we relate with our superiors, our authorities, whether that's your boss at work, the head of the household, your father. Capricorn is the relationship to all those superiors, which is, in contrast to the earthy Virgo inferiors, those that work for us or beside us. The Capricorn is those that work above us, the leader, the head, the boss, all of that kind of thing. Then we've got good old Aquarius. Aquarius is quintessentially our friends, those that we are not romantically involved with, we have like-mindedness with, we're part of the same group, we hang out in the same circle, all of those things of being a friend. Friendships and groups all come under the jurisdiction of Aquarius, so our friends. And then finally, Pisces is our relationship to God. It's our relationship to the divine. We can see in that Pisces and Sagittarius are both ruled by Jupiter. There's some similarity. Sagittarius is those relationships to the religious figures, but it's people, it's characters, it's teachers that inspire. So it's people. Pisces is not so much a relationship to an other person, so much as the entire universe, the entire cosmos. How do we relate to the divine? So you can see, going around the wheel, that everybody and everything that we relate to in life can be filed into one of those 12 jurisdictions, and they give us more of an idea about what those relationships in our life are about. What makes your coworker different than your family, different than your friend, different from your boss, different from your marriage partner, different from God. So all of those different relationships are filed somewhere in the Zodiac, and hopefully you've got a clearer idea about how that breakdown occurs. So hope this was informative and fun, and feel free to reach out with any questions or comments. Thanks a lot.